Hello, welcome back to another SwansCast match preview. This week I'm joined by Dan from Every Step Along the Way, Stoke City podcast. So welcome, Dan.
A pleasure to be on, mate.
Thank you for joining me. And for the second sort of match preview in a row, I'm in a situation of talking to another club that hasn't got a manager. The same for ourselves. I called the last game the managerless derby, and then you decided you wanted to join in and sacked Alex Neil this week as well. So what's going down in Stoke City?
I think it's been bubbling for a little while. We'll throw in the odd sort of 3-game run that sort of takes the heat off for a bit. And then we lost 4 in a row, 6 without a win. Yeah, I think the last 4 games as well. I think one was defeated with Sheffield Wednesday, one was conceded 4 against QPR. So yeah, it's plummeted to new depths, shall we say, of his reign. Yeah, the fans decided to let him know when that injury time goal went in against Sheffield Wednesday that they'd had enough.
I mean, looking at the form, normally I start with other questions. We'll get to them in a sec, but I think because it's so fresh, it's good to kind of touch on this. Looking at the form, 2 draws followed by 4 losses. It's really weird, actually, because ahead of that 6-game period, you had good results where you beat Leeds United and Middlesbrough with clean sheets. And then, unfortunately, our noisy neighbours up the road got a point against you, and it all seemed to kind of go wrong from there. And some of the results, as you mentioned, the QPR and Sheffield Wednesday, who were struggling in the Championship. I guess any team that might be in the lower ends of the table is looking at those games and expecting a win.
Yeah, we sort of we beat Leeds, beat Sunderland, beat Middlesbrough, and then we were thinking, right, okay, now because obviously we approached those games, and I think when we went into that run of 3 games, we were sort of around 20th, and we thought, this could be a bit, in a couple of weeks' time, this could be a bit sticky. And we managed to get ourselves up, and we were like, at that point, we were like 11th, and then we're looking and we're going, we've got Cardiff, Coventry, okay. Then those 2 aren't easy, but they're winnable. And then we've got, like I say, QPR, Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth, who, if we're on a bit of a roll, those games, we could turn this into a really decent run. Yeah. And it's just completely went the other way. We beat the 3 teams that we shouldn't be beating, and then ended up just gradually getting worse and worse.
Yeah. I mean, we've obviously partnered with Michael Duff in recent days as well in the last week. So we know all about the situation that you find yourselves in. I think we only went ahead even the table because we beat Rotherham on the weekend. So we're maybe a match ahead in terms of any bounce back, although don't know how much of a bounce back it was against Rotherham, more on scraping over the line to get a victory. But sometimes that's what you need, isn't it, after a bit of a bad form and a change, and you can build on it. But any chance of building, I think I would have preferred going into this game had you not sacked him, and maybe you looked to sack him after this game. On the back of 4 defeats, we turn our season round a little bit against Rotherham. Maybe we think going up there, good chance to continue that. But now you're going to be looking to do exactly the same and have a bit of a bounce yourself. Do you think there's going to be much chance of that happening?
Well, you know what it's like, don't you? As soon as a manager goes, all these little stories come out the woodwork, don't they, about things that have been happening and all that. And apparently, after the last international break, apparently the players were given like a week off, and Alex Neil went to Dubai for the week. And obviously, every game that preceded that international break, all 4 games we've conceded in injury time. And so apparently, if there was a few senior players not happy with that, he fell out with this, fell out with that. So all these stories that are coming out, you think, okay, well, it sounds like there's been a little bit of discontent around the squad, and butting heads with the manager.
Yeah.
So that sort of gives the ingredients, doesn't it? That there may be a bit of an uplift if he has gone, and and obviously we get a positive result. Adding the fact you've got sort of Paul Gallagher's taking charge, he's obviously an ex-Stoke player. Ryan Shawcross sort of assisted him, stepping up from his role in the academy. So you've got sort of Stoke legend there that the fans all sort of get behind, obviously, in Shawcross. And I did say like at the time as well that these 2 home games that we just had, Sheffield Wednesday and obviously yourselves on Tuesday, it could be the best thing for Alex Neil or the worst, because it's 2 home games and an opportunity to go out there and get 2 wins, and then he's sort of try and turn the tide. I said, but if he loses that first one, if he's still here for the second one, the atmosphere is going to be awful, and obviously you didn't even make it there. So yeah, I think the fact that he's not there is a positive for us, I think, in the fact of the game itself and the atmosphere on the night.
Yeah, that's not what we want to be hearing, but hopefully we can continue our change, I guess, and hopefully the players looking up for us. We had similar stories come out of Self, where apparently senior players went to Duff and told him they didn't like the style, and it got tweaked after our match against Cardiff, and we had our best run of form and 4 straight wins. Went back downhill afterwards, but I guess if that is true and the players are going to the manager about the style, it's not going to last long, is it? Really, I guess, if that sort of thing's going on behind the scenes. But there we go. Both of us starting new chapters, and we're 1 match in, but it starts for you on Tuesday at 7:45, obviously up at Stoke. I did check the weather. Apparently it's due to rain, but not so windy. So a wet but not so windy night up at Stoke for Swansea tomorrow evening, or whenever
they'll find a way. Don't you worry, they'll find a way to get some wind pumping through that ground.
It's the way the stadium's made, isn't it? It's like got its own swirly atmosphere just in that stadium. But
yeah, it's not office, but now they've filled in one of the corners. So obviously there used to be like just one corner filled in, so the wind used to come in from sort of 3 sides and like I say swirl round, and it was a bit strange. Since they filled another one of the corners in, it's not half as cold or as bad as it was. Which filling the corners actually sort of coincided with our sort of demise from top half in the Premier League to where we are now. So maybe that was what was
take it back out.
Yeah, maybe it was like the uniqueness of the conditions. Maybe that was what was helping us.
Yeah. I don't think we really do so well necessarily against you lot. I know we've had a win in recent years, back when Steve Cooper was in charge, but that's quite some time ago now. Bit of a bogey team, I would say, for Swansea. But we'll get back onto the matches in a sec. I just want to go to my normal script a little bit and ask about your summer and about any change at the club. Now, there is one player specifically that went between the clubs, and that is obviously Josh Timone. He left you in the summer and came to Swansea. He's probably going to start, I'd imagine, in this game. But is there any other key personnel, ins or outs, with your playing squad that Swansea fans should be aware about?
Yeah, well, in the summer, we actually brought in 18 new players, which is a very Stoke thing to do, to let a manager bring in 18 new players and then sack him a few months later. I'd say basically the entire of the squad. I'd say key sort of players to sort of look out for you might not have seen in a Stoke shirt before from previous matches against us. Wouter Berger in midfield. We signed him from Basel in Switzerland.
Yeah,
he's very good, but everything he tries, like he would make a short 6-yard pass, but he would make it look extravagant. Like nothing, like he can't do anything really simple. Everything has to be like, the outside the boot or really thing. But when the stuff that he does do comes off, you can tell like what a great player he is, and he has got a decent shot on him from the outside the box. He scored a couple from distance so far. I mean, I think he scored one at QPR the other weekend off the post. So we've got him. Andre Vidigal hit the ground running in August. We're scoring goals for fun. Picked up an injury. Not really been the same player since. So he sort of coming off the left wing was sort of shooting on sight at first, and everything he was hitting was fine in the back of the net.
Yeah.
But like I say, injuries have sort of just put the brakes on his sort of Stoke career so far. So we're waiting to find out whether, because he only cost sort of 400,000. Sorry.
That's all right.
So he's just sort of trying to find out whether it was sort of a flash in the pan sort of month for him, and that's above his level, or whether he's just lacking a bit of fitness and he can get back to where he was there. The other sort of flip of that is Ryan May up front. Although he missed a penalty against Sheffield Wednesday, he's the other end where he started a bit slower, He cost like £3.5 million in the summer. It started a bit slower, but then the more you see him, the more he's sort of getting used to the physicality of playing up front in the Championship.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of ability on the ball, a lot of skill, and he's sort of now understanding the work rate required as well. But again, he's another one who's missed a lodge. I think Alex Neil said the other week that he'd only trained 4 days in 11 weeks because he kept with this hamstring injury that kept reoccurring with him. He played 3 games in that time. He said he was just like chucking him out for matches and he couldn't train in between. I was like, that's not healthy. No wonder he keeps pulling up with a hamstring injury.
No, that's never a good sign.
Yeah, so defence were not the strongest. I mean, we've got some decent sort of individuals in there, but they don't seem to be able to sort of click at the minute, to be fair. So we've got like Luke McNally. Andy Stevens has got plenty of experience at this level. And then sort of we've got Keanu Hoover, who obviously Hoover becomes Henry in our daft way of trying to think we're funny. And then obviously, to be honest, the best defender we've had this season has probably been Junior Chamadeo, who we got from Colchester on deadline day. Who I think him coming in allowed us to sell you guys Josh Timon. Although he's naturally a right back, he can cover the left as well. And we're a bit stuck as to why he's not been he's not been in the team more. To be honest, he's only had sort of 3 or 4 matches, and I think he's got man of the match in half of them at least. It's a bit very strange.
It's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, you mentioned Josh Timon's come our way, and I'm sure he's going to play in this match. And there's a couple of other players that played through the team. So obviously we've still got Joe Allen here. I don't think he will feature. He's injured. I don't believe he's going to be coming back in time for this one, which probably doesn't surprise you based on his injury history, Joe Allen. I don't know whether he had a lot of that for yourselves. But also Ben Wilmot as well, playing for you guys. I'm not sure if he's going to feature for this one. I noticed he was absent from your squad for the last game against Sheffield Wednesday. So is he injured at the moment, Ben Wilmot?
Yeah, so he had a collision with a post, unfortunately, a few weeks ago. So yeah, he's out until until the new year. It's about 3 months out.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we tend to concede a lot of goals to past players. For yourselves, Joe Allen, Wilfred Boney, and Sam Clucas all scoring, I think, in the past in matches recently. So we'll take the fact that Wilmot won't be featuring. I would normally now go on to ask you about the style, but it's a bit difficult considering you haven't played a match under your caretaker manager. So we'll skip ahead of that one. And I'll just ask, I know you mentioned about the new guys, but what key players maybe that you didn't mention should we be looking at?
I hope Harris Campbell's back. If he missed the weekend, but I believe he went off the week before with a bit of an injury, and then there's been a bit of a bug in the side as well over the weekend, which actually led to us giving a debut to a young keeper who only just turned 19 the day before. But yeah, Campbell missed the game at the weekend. I'm hoping he's back Tuesday.
So I think I'll have to end the video there. We're around some technical difficulties. I want to say thank you to Dan for joining me in that episode of Opposition Preview. Obviously looking ahead to Swansea's trip up to Stoke tomorrow evening. Go check out their channel, Every Step Along the Way. The Stoke City podcast on Twitter at Every Step Along. And obviously you can find them on podcasting platforms as well. And we shall see you in the next video. Good luck if you're travelling up. Safe journey, and catch you in the next one.